Jonas Valanciunas arriving at the Lakers feels like one of those unexpected twists that suddenly change the entire rhythm of a season, like a note in a song you didn't expect, but that fits perfectly once you hear it. The rumor started quietly, whispered among insiders. Then it grew louder as people noticed how the Lakers had been moving silently in the market, chasing a big body to stabilize the paint. For years, the team has been criticized for being too reliant on Anthony Davis to cover every defensive angle, every rebound, and every interior battle. The arrival of Valanciunas brings weight, literal and symbolic, as the Lithuanian center is not only massive, but carries a reputation as someone who fights for every ball and refuses to give up an inch inside. Fans began buzzing on social media, analyzing what it means for rotations, how he could pair with Davis, and whether LeBron James finally has the low-post partner he has been craving in the later stages of his career. Suddenly the Lakers, who had looked uncertain in the front-court depth, appear tougher, more complete, and maybe even scarier for Western Conference rivals preparing for the postseason chase. The conversations about this move are not only about the present, but also about the history of what Valanciunas has represented throughout his career, because he's one of those players who might not always dominate the headlines, but consistently earns respect in the locker room. With New Orleans, he was often the anchor that allowed younger teammates to experiment and play freely, always securing rebounds, setting hard screens, and delivering points in the paint when defenses forgot about him. Now, by transitioning to Los Angeles, he steps into a team that operates under constant spotlight, where every single game feels like a stage performance. People are speculating about whether his personality, calm and grounded, can balance the intensity of the Lakers' environment. The narrative almost writes itself. The steady veteran coming to stabilize a star-driven roster that sometimes spins into chaos. Analysts are debating whether he'll be in the starting lineup consistently or whether the Lakers will prefer to unleash him off the bench as a tactical weapon. Either way, the idea is that his presence changes matchups, forces opponents to adjust, and gives the coaching staff more options than they had before. What excites fans most is the potential chemistry between Valanciunas and Anthony Davis, a combination that could redefine how the Lakers play on both ends of the court. Davis has long been more comfortable drifting between roles, sometimes embracing the physical battles inside, but often preferring to face up, move around, and use his agility rather than grind down low for 40 minutes a night. Valanciunas, by contrast, thrives in the dirty work, boxing out, sealing defenders, banging bodies under the rim, and making sure the Lakers never look undersized in crucial moments. Together, they could form one of the most balanced front courts in recent years, mixing finesse with raw strength. Fans are already picturing Davis being freed up to focus more on his shot blocking and mid-range game, while Valanciunas controls the boards. And then, of course, there's LeBron James, the maestro, who has built his career on exploiting the strengths of those around him. He must be licking his lips at the thought of running pick and rolls with a center who sets bone-crushing screens and knows how to roll hard to the basket. The images of that trio dominating are already circulating in fan discussions everywhere. But as with every Lakers rumor, there is skepticism too, because nothing ever comes without doubt in Los Angeles. Some critics wonder whether Valanciunas' slower foot speed could become a liability in a system that thrives on pace and space, especially when the Lakers face younger, more athletic teams that push the tempo relentlessly. Others point out that while his offensive rebounding is elite, his defensive rotations sometimes lag, leaving him exposed against versatile lineups. The concern is that he could be targeted in the playoffs, forced to defend switches against smaller, quicker guards who thrive on isolating big men. This creates a tension in the narrative. Is he the missing piece, or just another big body who looks good in theory, but struggles in practice? Fans remain divided, some celebrating the move as brilliant, others fearing it could slow down the Lakers' momentum. What cannot be denied is that the Lakers have shifted the conversation. Even the doubters admit that adding a center of his caliber adds depth, experience, and an entirely new layer to the team's identity. And in the NBA, perception often shapes reality more than numbers. Still, beyond the technical analysis, What makes this rumor so captivating is the human side of it, because Valanciunas has always been described as a professional who commands respect. Teammates across his career have praised his work ethic, his ability to keep morale steady, and his willingness to sacrifice personal stats for the greater good. In Los Angeles, that quality might be even more valuable than his physicality, because the Lakers have always been a melting pot of egos, ambition, and larger-than-life personalities. A player who can balance that with calm authority might be exactly what the locker room needs. Fans dream of moments where his leadership shows quietly, maybe a crucial timeout where he offers a few words, or a tough playoff series where his composure sets the tone. These intangibles don't appear on box scores, but they shape teams. The possibility of him stepping into this role makes the narrative more layered, more cinematic, like a subplot unfolding within the broader saga of LeBron chasing one last title. The Lakers are a franchise that thrives on stories, and Valanciunas' arrival could be the latest chapter that fuels drama, hope, and endless speculation. And then, of course, there is the bigger picture, because signing Valanciunas might not just be about this season, but about laying foundations for the future. LeBron's timeline is finite. Davis's health is always a question, and the Lakers know they cannot waste windows of opportunity. Valanciunas gives them stability at a position they've often shuffled, trying different short-term fixes that never quite stuck. If this move turns into reality, it signals that the Lakers are not just patching holes, but trying to build something sustainable, a core that can withstand the brutal Western Conference battles year after year. Fans can already imagine him mentoring younger players, teaching them the nuances of positioning, and leaving behind a culture of toughness long after he's gone. The idea of him as both a present solution and a future cornerstone makes this rumor all the more enticing. Even if some remain cautious, the energy around the Lakers has shifted, and once again, the team finds itself at the center of NBA conversations. Whether this rumor becomes fact or fades away, it has already done what Lakers stories always do: capture attention and ignite the imagination of the basketball world. When people start projecting the playoffs with Valanciunas in a Lakers jersey, the debates get even hotter because everything in Los Angeles is about championships. The idea is not simply surviving the regular season, but preparing for those 7-game wars where matchups decide everything. Suddenly, fans imagine Valanciunas battling Nikola Jokic in the paint, a heavyweight clash that feels straight out of a movie. Jokic has tortured smaller Lakers lineups in the past, dominating possessions with his vision and strength. Now, with Valanciunas, there's at least a chance to throw someone at him who has the size, the frame, and the fearlessness to push back. This doesn't guarantee success, but it does change the dynamic, forcing Denver to account for a new wrinkle. The same goes for facing teams like Minnesota with Rudy Gobert or Memphis with Jaren Jackson Jr., where size often dictates outcomes. Analysts argue that playoff basketball slows down, half-court battles matter, and in those scenarios, a center like Valanciunas can shine. That possibility fuels the narrative that this move is more than just depth. It's strategic preparation for the exact giants standing in the Lakers' path to another finals. The fan reaction online has been a spectacle of its own, almost like a separate sport being played on Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit. Some fans immediately flooded timelines with excitement, posting clips of Valanciunas grabbing monstrous rebounds, setting massive screens, or bullying opponents on the block. Others dropped memes comparing him to the bruisers of past Lakers eras, imagining him as a modern-day extension of the tough, no-nonsense bigs that once defined championship teams. At the same time, skeptics unleashed their critiques, highlighting low-light reels of him struggling on defense against smaller, quicker players. The split creates an energy that only the Lakers can generate, where even rumors become full-blown cultural debates. Influencers, podcasters, and even former players jumped into the conversation, each with their hot take on whether this rumor signals brilliance or desperation. The sheer volume of opinions reflects the reality that every Lakers move is magnified. For Valanciunas, it's a sign of what life in Los Angeles would mean: constant scrutiny, endless discussions, and the chance to prove doubters wrong in front of the biggest audience basketball can offer. Rival teams are not ignoring this development either, because the Lakers' moves always ripple across the league. If Valanciunas does join, coaches from other Western Conference contenders will be forced to rework scouting reports and adjust their game plans. The idea of LeBron orchestrating plays with another reliable interior presence complicates defensive schemes, especially when paired with Davis's versatility. Suddenly, opposing bigs will face not just one challenge, but a combination that could wear them down across a series. Media members covering rival franchises have already speculated about how this rumor might influence other front offices to react. Could the Clippers chase another big? Would Golden State look for more size to counter? In the NBA, one move often triggers a chain reaction, and the Lakers adding Valanciunas would surely set off alarms. Even if it's just a rumor for now, the possibility of this domino effect highlights why Los Angeles remains the epicenter of league drama. Every action or whisper linked to them can shift the entire competitive balance, and rivals know they cannot afford to ignore what's happening in purple and gold. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on. Inside the Lakers' own locker room, the potential arrival of Valanciunas sparks speculation about rotations, roles, and chemistry. For veterans like LeBron, the priority is always winning, and any addition that brings stability is welcome. For younger players, however, the challenge becomes earning minutes in an increasingly crowded frontcourt. If Valanciunas soaks up heavy playing time at center, how will that impact players like Jared Vanderbilt or Jackson Hayes? These are questions that could define the internal dynamics of the team. Still, the Lakers' culture has often thrived on competition, with players pushing each other in practice to earn their spots. The coaching staff, led by Darvin Ham, would face the challenge of balancing egos and maximizing the roster's depth. Yet this is the kind of problem most coaches love to have: too much talent rather than not enough. The locker room whispers, the sense of uncertainty about roles, all add to the drama that makes this story so compelling. And if Valanciunas really does step through those doors, the Lakers will have to answer not just the question of talent, but of chemistry, which often separates champions from contenders. The cultural element of this rumor can't be ignored either, because the Lakers are more than just a basketball team. They're a global brand, a spectacle, and a storyline that reaches beyond the court. Imagine Valanciunas stepping into that Hollywood spotlight, where every performance becomes a headline and every mistake becomes viral content. For a player who has spent much of his career in smaller markets, the transition would be seismic. He would go from a respected veteran to a daily headline in the biggest basketball city in the world. That kind of attention can overwhelm some players, but can also elevate others, giving them a platform to showcase qualities that were once overlooked. Fans dream of him becoming an unexpected cult hero, a beloved grinder who earns ovations for his hustle plays, hard fouls, and relentless energy. The Lakers fan base thrives on adopting characters like that, players who symbolize effort and toughness. If this rumor becomes reality, Valanciunas could quickly transform from quiet veteran to one of the most talked-about figures in the league, his every rebound celebrated as part of the larger Lakers spectacle. Ultimately, the rumor of Jonas Valanciunas joining the Lakers captures everything people love about sports narratives: unpredictability, potential, doubt, and the thrill of imagining what if. It doesn't matter yet whether the deal is finalized or even confirmed, because the buzz itself already feels like an event. For Lakers fans, hope is always tied to the idea of the next big move, the piece that could push them back to the top. For critics, skepticism is just as powerful, feeding debates and fueling content across the media landscape. And for Valanciunas himself, this story paints him as a man standing at the edge of a new chapter, one where he could redefine his legacy in the most storied franchise of all. Whether he becomes a champion in purple and gold, or just a name in the long list of Lakers experiments, his arrival would shift the atmosphere instantly. That's the magic of the Lakers. Rumors turn into legends, and legends turn into history. Until the truth comes out, the only certainty is that fans will keep talking, dreaming, and arguing about Jonas Valanciunas in Los Angeles. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.